All right, guys, we are live. Let me share my screen. Lots moving today. It's pretty all day today. Here's some of the stocks that I'm watching. Let me just finish getting set up here. Micron, just a massive gapper. It was gapping up at 328 all the way up here, and then it sold off a bit. The problem is it just rejected the VWAP at 325, and the problem when you have this type of gap, if you look on the daily, so you're up here essentially, creating all new time highs. And I mentioned yesterday in the recap video of some continuation from the 315. Um, it could just go, it could just keep going, and it never has to. It could just totally squeeze up. There's no confirmation, and so going long seems like the right play, but I don't want to go long when this thing can also sell off, and it could sell off below this line. I mentioned yesterday the level that I was looking at was at 309. If we look at MU, right, where we consolidated here and broke out. So this was the kind of the morning high of the 309. So this is where I want to go long MU. If anything, this would be my long alert. So I want to short down to that level, but I don't know what that top looks like right now. It's not clearly identified, although this level right here looks interesting, 326. So it's just not something I want to jump in front of, but something that I do want to long at 310. So that's how I could see this playing out, is a sell off in the morning and then a continuation, bounce play potentially. So, and I might risk like 50 cents on that trade. I don't think I want to risk much, but that's how I could see this doing, is just sort of selling off and then coming back. What else are we watching? Tesla, same thing, gapped up a few bucks. So if we look at Tesla's chart, not that pretty of a chart. Again, Tesla's been selling off, guys. I'm not convinced that the move is even over. Like I mentioned, it could definitely get down here to 383, or even down even closer to the 200-day, which is this orange line. So I'm not really that excited about Tesla, like going Tesla long. We're retesting at the 50. I may actually want to short at this level of the 445. Let me just take a look here. Yeah, so it really hasn't broken this sort of pre-market high of 445, and it's just been an overall really weak stock. So honestly, I wouldn't. I'm not really interested in buying Tesla. It's not something I'm really interested in. So it retests on this day, got rejected and sold off. It's not going to come right back up, and so I think it's going to show how weak it is by getting rejected off this 445 level. So that's what I'm going to look at on that. Let's see here. Yeah, it's a might be able to get up to 448, but I don't believe it. It's been selling off. Every move of this thing has been selling off, but you can just see we've had 6-7 straight red candles, so it's been a terrible move. I am looking at alt, and let's look at coin real quick too. Actually, all right, let's look at coin too. So coin also moved up. There were some upgrades to a buy for the stock. We mentioned, had the break of the floor at the 231 level. It broke it on this day here and settled in at 226, and now it's kind of running back up. I really don't expect much from the stock, but I did mention that I wouldn't be surprised if it ran back up to 300. It looks like this stair step wasn't necessarily complete, and so I definitely see a push down here, around $300 eventually. So again, I don't really see much of a move here other than maybe a push today into the 250. But it's that's where I'd probably set my alert, is probably something like right in here, the 251. So we could actually do that. It's not that, I don't think it traded a whole lot of volume pre-market either. So I don't think what was this open? 251.68. So we're gonna want, so what we'll do is I like to put notes. Short coin 251, and then just kind of put like a price range. So it's sort of an idea, right? So you can always be wrong, but my idea here is we're gonna try to retest this 20 EMA, which is lines up pretty close to this sort of candle here. And so we have a looks like it's a little bit closer to 252. So I'll probably need to move that up. And so we'll retest, people will start shorting, and then maybe it squeezes up a little bit to 252, 253. But I mean, right now it's just sort of in the middle of a chop zone. And could potentially fill in this gap here on this low, which is 247.43, which looks like it was a pre-market high. So again, it's just you just don't know. It's only traded 400,000 shares, so I'm not really that convinced. Silver seems like the mover right now. Silver seems like it wants to do something. The pre-market high is 69.50, which we just hit. Pre-market low was 67.61, so this looks like it's now a valid support. And so we're trading in between this range, and so we may end up just sort of trading in its tighter range. And so potentially break. We had this sort of doji indecisive candle. I'm definitely waiting to start buying puts on this. Not quite confirmed just yet, but possibly towards the end of the week, we might be looking to start getting puts, just seeing how this stock plays out. Um, it's exhausted. I mean, it's run quite a bit, and it's going to trap a lot of people who are stocking up on this thing. I don't do a lot of meme stocks, but Sidhu is a big one. Um, it's been trading in this range. It looks like it's at 513. Um, let's see. So it looks like it's selling off. It's below VWAP, but it ran all the way up to like 580, I think it was. Let me check this out real quick. I mean, it's traded a lot of shares, 15 million shares, and it was up all the way at 580. So it's traded a lot of shares already. That's where a lot of the sellers are kicking in. There's obviously this gap all the way down to 433. And then on, I mean, you can see these candles are just so long and wick. So again, it's a meme stock. It's risky. It's don't want to say it's gambling, but it kind of is almost like gambling. And you know, maybe you get like a retest up here of one of these levels, but it's just a hard read. It's not something I would be that excited about. There's some stocks I think might be liquidity traps, this being one of them. We may see BNNI from Friday had a pretty good move. When, like I said, it's a short float, but it wouldn't be able to break this $4 level. It kept getting seller. So I'll be watching this to see if we do break up, potentially squeeze and fill in. So this would be something maybe going along in with cutting it off at 375, 370. This thing kept selling off, and it just a lot of sellers at the 4. So that's it. And then alt was the last one. Got FDA granted news, so can definitely see this running up, up to 5. Not too much money. The meat is left, but yeah, I can see it definitely running up to 5 on the news. I would personally try to be buying in like the 380. I think the 380 is what I identified just based on the pre-market and the close. Let's see here. Alt. Yeah, it was this level here. No, that was the $4 level. It looked like we had sold off in the pre-market, this 380 level. So again, people get involved. They see the news, they run it up. So if this thing runs up, I'll probably stay out of it. But if it comes down to that 380 level, I'll try a long to see if we can get back up to pre-market high. So I'll just be watching it. Let's see what happens. But the news was there, and I ran at pre-market, and now it's just kind of been selling off. So I don't think it has much. The downside risk is, like I said, I think not that much. I think right now it's three. If you're at 380 and the close is 360, so 20 cents. So that's kind of what I'm looking at, guys. More of the moves. So again, Tesla, not convinced the move is over. Think this is probably the area to short the stock. Not really convinced that this is going to do anything. APP, I talked about monster trade, probably trade of the year for the channel. I mean, it was 100 depending on when you bought your puts, but it was either between 100 to 4 or 500% returns in a few days. So this was probably the biggest monster trade that we identified back here. So that was probably going to be the trade of the year. I don't. It'd be really hard to beat that. You don't get $80, $70 flush candles every day. So pretty good there. So that's kind of what I'm looking at, guys. Let me know what you're trading, and we'll try to. All right, yeah. So I think that's pretty much it. That's what I'm looking at. It looks like App 11's trying to push up, but it just sold off so high. Like you really would need to break the 630 level to make do anything meaningful, and it just went. It just went down so much that it's just hard. But this thing can move. I mean, this thing was 15 minutes, you moved, what is that? 40, almost $40. It's insane. All right, guys. Good luck trading today, and we'll see you on the next video.